Chapter 105, Suspense in the United States, Visions over the Qinling Mountains, Time, slowly moving. 3 days later, the fourth round of trials was on its 13th day. Heavy rain disasters are getting worse. A series of chain reactions broke out one after another. Countries around the world, all modern civilized cities are soaked in stagnant water and turned into water cities. Transportation was blocked. The material supply chain is broken. Telecommunications took a heavy hit, plants cannot grow and large numbers of herbivores die. The food chain is in short supply at the same time. Affected by the continuous rainfall, various associated disasters followed one after another: tsunami, typhoon, flood. There is a doomsday scene everywhere. Long-term exposure to a dark environment causes many people to suffer from emotional breakdown, suffered great mental damage. More and more people place their hopes on the afterlife and choose to commit suicide to seek God's blessing. Officials in various countries are extremely busy. We had to temporarily abandon those modern cities and move the people to higher areas. News conferences were held one after another in an attempt to stabilize the scattered public sentiment. At the same time, to stop the heavy rain, the extraordinary powers reserved by various countries came out in full force, constantly searching for traces of 004 Rainmaker. The scientific research department is doing crazy research, find a way to crack the mysterious energy mass. America, Department of Defense. In the office, China has been too peaceful these days. Jobs frowned as he looked at the intelligence from China. He noticed this scene exactly the same as before the Book of Life and Death and Demon Mirror came out. However, China's confidentiality is very good, and their FBI intelligence department has not detected any clues at all. Today, heavy rains have triggered many chain disasters. All countries, including China, are implementing measures such as relocation, rescue, and protection of their people. But Huaxia gave him a different feeling, despite the seriousness of the situation. But in all areas, he is orderly and unusually calm. For example, the United States has cleared out the high-altitude areas within its territory, abandoned its original homes, built new cities, and prepared for a protracted war. The White Bear country activated several nuclear bombs and created a huge artificial lake to dredge the floods. Sakura country, however, China is only rescuing people and relocating them to high-altitude areas. There are no other measures. It's like, it won't be long, the rainstorm disaster will be solved. No, they must have found a way to stop the rainstorm, Jobs said to himself, tapping his fingers on the table, his tone becoming more and more certain. Something went wrong, there must be a demon. If a solution had not been found, it would be impossible for China to be so calm. You notify the FBI and ask them to repeatedly screen all public and non-public information in China. He took a deep breath and told the secretary behind him, especially the recent results of the Monster Research Institute's scientific research trends. Even if we can't find a way to stop the rainstorm, we still need to find out what China is doing recently. Yes. The secretary nodded and acted quickly. Later, Jobs looked at the researchers at the Scientific Research Institute behind him and asked, to what stage have the fourth level 002 imitators been trained? 920 death row inmates have been fed. The researchers looked at the experimental data in their hands and reported, according to their research, there are two ways to advance monsters: they can cultivate on their own, or they can devour flesh and blood. The former has a slower cultivation speed, the latter only requires enough flesh and blood to quickly complete the advancement. But the 12-sided crystal in the body of the 002 imitator contains the important energy needed for the chosen one to advance. Steve has been stuck at level 3 for a long time. To break through to the fourth level, the fastest way is to absorb the energy of the fourth order 12-sided crystal and hit the bottleneck. Call Steve back and sit in the laboratory. Jobs took a deep breath and warned in a deep voice, once the monster is successfully advanced, kill it on the spot and never appear again. Accident. Raising plan. It comes with risks, but it also comes with huge benefits. If Steve can break through to level 4, the mysterious energy group can be shattered, and then the method of artificial rain driving can be used to disperse the thick clouds over more than 2,000 cities in the United States. Then the heavy rain stopped. Also, the fourth level combat power is the best in the world. The speed and efficiency of clearing monsters will also be greatly improved. 2 days later. Dean, we have found an anomaly in China. The FBI intelligence officer hurried into the office, holding a photo in his hand. Frequent thunderstorms have been discovered near the Qinling Mountains in China, and white lightning often hovers in the sky. Processing Jobs, who was on official business, was stunned for a moment. He quickly looked at the photo. In the photo, amazingly, a continuous mountain range was photographed, with several thick white chain lightnings lingering in the sky above the mountain range. The reflection is thousands of miles away, incredibly bright, according to local news reports in China. In addition to white chain lightning, huge roars can be heard from time to time, just like thunder. The intelligence personnel then reported, local residents suspect that there is a hidden master who is going through the tribulation. Overcoming the tribulation? Jobs was a little confused. Transcending tribulation is a Chinese saying, which comes from ancient myths and legends. In order for a mortal to become an immortal, he must first go through the process of transcending tribulation. After becoming an immortal, he can live forever and coexist with the world. The intelligence officer continued to explain it. Jobs, he was silent for a moment, and then handed the photo to the secretary behind him. He explained, let people from the Scientific Research Institute analyze what causes these white chain lightning and thunder roars. I'll go right away. Secretary, he nodded and quickly walked out of the office. It didn't take long. The preliminary analysis information on white chain lightning was placed on Jobs' desk. According to preliminary analysis by researchers, the chain lightning is not of natural origin. It is accompanied by a large number of high-frequency point-induced phenomena and should be artificially created. China, why are they making these lightnings? Jobs frowned, becoming more and more confused. Actually, artificial lightning technology (IT) is not very difficult. Many countries have already mastered it, using the high-frequency resonance principle of the Tesla coil transformer and using the thunderstorm energy in the clouds. Super lightning of 500,000 volts can be released. What he didn't understand was China has nothing to do. Why are we creating these lightnings in the Qinling Mountains? At the same time, Qinling Mountains, Legungdianmu RND base, boom. 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 In a majestic steel building complex, several giant devices erupted with roars. In the sky, several thick lightning bolts burst into dazzling white light. The entire Qinling Mountains are illuminated extremely brightly. Successful. The trial operation of the high-energy particle beam pulse device was successful. A burst of cheers and celebrations broke out from the periphery of the device. Chapter 106. On the 17th day, the Thunder God and Lightning Mother appeared, including Yang Mo. All researchers are happy from the bottom of their hearts. At this moment, over the Qinling Mountains, thunder roars and lightning leaps, just like a scene from myths and legends. I guess no one will believe it. These actually came from their hands. After the breakthrough in particle technology, they began to integrate the new technology into the already prepared particle collider, particle accelerator, magnetic field generator, particle pulse, high-precision positioning system and other devices, then use the controllable nuclear fusion energy equipped in the base. Drives these devices. At this time, the wonders in the sky are caused by the trial operation of this composite device. High-energy particles automatically form beams, accelerating the electrons, protons or photons generated by the particle source to nearly the speed of light, and focusing them into dense beams through a fixed magnetic field then transmitted to the specified target. Its external manifestation is the thunder and thick lightning in the sky, huge power transmission. Every lightning bolt, the energy equivalent to the explosion of 10 nuclear bombs concentrated on one point. The radiation has a diameter of 3,000 kilometers and can cover the entire China. And due to the high-speed trembling of high-energy particles, its temperature can reach 20,000 degrees Celsius, which is several times higher than the temperature of the sun's surface. It can not only be used to destroy the mysterious energy left by 004 Rainmaker, alright, as a weapon, it can bring down divine punishment on the target. 5 thunderbolts. Once the target is locked, whether it is the demon race, the spirit race, or other races, as long as they have not reached the 5th level, they will not be able to withstand the precise targeted strikes of Thunder God and Lightning Queen, just like the god who carries out thunder. Punishment on behalf of the sky in myths and legends, coupled with the precision computing capabilities of quantum computers. Since then, in China, everyone below the 5th level is an ant. Thank you for your hard work. Yang Mo looked at everyone with a smile on his face. This is the first country defending weapon owned by China that can attack a single target. Its capabilities, not inferior to the Book of Life and Death and Demon Mirror. If you encounter an enemy that cannot be defeated by the Book of Life and Death, you can directly use physical means to overcome the opponent. Now, there is only the last step. He took a deep breath and looked in the direction of the laboratory in the base. There it is the Light Quantum Research Team led by Sun Changqing who updates and iterates the Zhejiang 3 area day and night. At the same time, the vision over the Qinling Mountains also alarmed the nearby Chinese people. Local news media, compelling reports. During the heavy rain, 9 thick lightning bolts suddenly appeared in the sky over the Qinling Mountains. The Meteorological Bureau has not yet explained this. The thunderstorm lasted for 3 hours, and it was suspected that someone was going through the catastrophe. There are various theories about mysterious celestial phenomena. What is hidden behind the Qinling Mountains? It didn't take long. Someone recorded the scene over the Qinling Mountains into a video and posted it online of the 9 lightning bolts, as thick as giant dragons, intertwined and shuttled in the dark cloudy sky. Every roar seemed to be the wrath of the gods, shocking the soul. The video was widely forwarded. It has attracted the attention of people across the country, and countless people have focused their attention on the Qinling Mountains, but soon people in China discovered again that the strange phenomenon over the Qinling Mountains disappeared after 3 hours. For a while, various speculations are rampant. 2 days later, Lei Gong and Dianmu R&D Base, Core Laboratory. Dean Yang, Chapter 3 has been updated and iterated. Sun Xiangqing pointed at the complex codes and simulation results on the screen, his eyes shining with excitement and pride behind the huge screen. Standing quietly is a giant equipment 9 meters high, 8 meters wide and 7 meters long. It is the updated and iterated 9 Chapter 4 quantum level computer. After technological updates, it stores 2000 light quanta inside and operates at extremely low temperatures less than 1 degree from absolute zero. Its computing power has reached the highest peak in human history. Its computing power is 8 million times that of the previous generation Zhejiang 3 quantum computer. 9 Chapters Number 4, it will be the most proud work of my life. Sun Xiangqing's body trembled slightly, and his emotions were unprecedentedly excited. The look in the eyes of 9 Chapter 4. It's like looking at a perfect piece of art. The physical and mental fatigue caused by 7 consecutive days of hard work all disappeared at this moment. Thank you for your hard work. Yang Yimou patted Sun Xiangqing's shoulder and looked at 9 Chapter 4, slowly walked towards the console. The finger gently swiped across the touchscreen and started the test program of the Zhejiang No. 4 quantum computer. In an instant, the entire laboratory fell silent for an instant, and only the slight hum of the equipment could be heard, as well as the subtle echo of data shuttled between ultra-high-speed processors. The cooler in the computer's main cabin is running wildly, producing a low temperature close to absolute zero, which continuously cools down the high heat caused by light quantum operations. On the big screen, a series of complex data streams twinkled like stars. Near-Earth satellite monitoring data from the skies over China, network data from various weather stations, and actual measurement point data are all gathered into the database in the base. Just seconds. 9 Chapter 4 will finish processing these vast and unknown data. On the screen, the geographical location annotations of 2,400 cities appeared. Surprisingly, it is the location of the mysterious energy groups left by 004 Rainmaker. All departments are preparing. Thunder God and Lightning Mother is about to be activated. Yang Yimou took a deep breath and pressed the base's internal communication button. A moment, his voice echoed throughout the base. At their respective positions. After receiving the order, the relevant person in charge looked ecstatic and responded quickly. 2 hours later, Yang Yimou walked into the high authority control room and entered the activation command. Jiangnan City, the streets of this city, which almost suffered a dike burst, were covered with water more than 1 meter deep. In the sky, the heavy rain is still pouring down, as if it will never end. Thick dark clouds shrouded the place, making the sun dull and dark. The residents in the city, under the organization of relevant departments, have all evacuated and moved to the nearby mountain areas. Only the military, firefighting, material supply, and other important departments are left behind, despite frequent disasters. But the people here have never given up hope and are trying their best to persevere and contend with heavy rains and floods. Jiangnan City Fire Squadron. Captain, some people called the police. There is an old man on the southeastern hillside who did not have time to evacuate with the large troops. A firefighter hurried to Lu Zuomin and reported. Lu Zuomin nodded, about to lead a team to rescue. I happened to see a white light flash across the sky, illuminating the entire Jiangnan city. Lightning? Lu Zuomin raised his head subconsciously and saw a lightning as thick as a bucket. The white light is dazzling, like a giant dragon, galloping in the clouds. Chapter 107 Thunder and lightning disaster shook the world. Next. In the clouds, thunder resounded throughout the sky. Deafening boom, the dull sound of thunder exploded, breaking the alternative tranquility under the heavy rain. Strong lightning bolts emerged one after another, each one is thousands of meters long, swimming among the clouds. It tore holes in the sky. The terrifying power of God descended over Jiangnan City. Thunderstorm? Lu Zuomin's face changed slightly and his heart sank. These days, heavy rains continue, causing many disasters, typhoons, tsunamis, mudslides, etc. When he saw lightning and thunder in the sky, his first reaction was a disaster. Quick, speed up, rescue all the remaining people in Jiangnan City to a safe area. He took a deep breath and said to the other firefighters, later, there is no pause. We braved the abnormal thunderstorm in the sky and traveled retrograde in the heavy rain. At the same time, across China, above 2,400 cities, there was a surprising scene, with lightning flashing through the clouds like a giant dragon. Thunder exploded from time to time, shaking the people into panic. Between heaven and earth, it seemed like only the sound of thunder was left. As powerful as prison, suppressing every city. People were panicked and quickly logged onto the internet to inquire about the cause of the celestial phenomenon. Monster Research Institute official website live broadcast room. In a short period of time, the number of people who flocked to the live broadcast room because of the thunder in the sky once again reached tens of millions. It's so scary. I live on a hillside, and suddenly I saw white chains appearing over the flooded city at the foot of the mountain. Is the disaster escalating? Thunderstorm, this is definitely a thunderstorm phenomenon. Everyone must pay attention to safety and don't stand in open areas. Is it really a thunderstorm? It seems that there are large-scale thunder and lightning over many cities now. At Monster Research Institute, can you come out and explain? After communication, people soon discovered that thunderstorms were not just in their city. To be precise, the same scene appeared in the skies over 2,400 cities in all provinces across the country. Thunder and lightning, the mythical scene not only shocked people's hearts, but also made them more and more uneasy. In front of the thunder and lightning disaster, human beings are becoming smaller and smaller. This ultimate expression of the power of nature far surpasses all other natural disasters. Plus, it appeared out of thin air, covering the whole country, full of unknowns. Let the people of China become more and more confused. Sakura Country. As an island country facing China, since the fourth round of disaster broke out, it has been silently paying attention to China. Emergency Department. A chain of thunderstorm natural disasters occurred in China? A short, unspectacular middle-aged president sat up in shock and stared at the real-life photos sent by the intelligence department. Taken a breath of air. Thunderstorm. In the photo, the sky is full of thunder and lightning. Even through photos, he could also feel the violent thunder power over the Chinese city, as well as the terrifying sense of oppression. After a while, he just recovered from the shock and murmured, "Could this be a new derivative disaster?" His eyes flickered and he thought quickly, such a terrifying thunderstorm phenomenon must be related to the heavy rain and the descending monsters. It is very likely to be a derivative disaster. It's just, thunderstorms have occurred in all countries around the world, only in China. This is very strange. Could it be that this is the new ability that 004 Rainmaker has mastered after he advanced? He swallowed and guessed again. The monsters that descend will all advance. Once advanced, it is possible to master new abilities. For example, 001 Immortal can have the ability to infect and assimilate after advanced. Now, countries around the world are focusing on culling 004 Rainmaker, but there is not enough precise research to show what new abilities 004 Rainmaker will have after it is advanced. But didn't Huaxia say that it has wiped out all the monsters in the fourth round? He frowned, and the more he thought about it, the more he felt something was wrong. Exclude the possibility that your guess is wrong. So, there is only one possibility left. China is lying. Maybe they actually didn't clear the monsters in the fourth round at all. Gall, Disaster Response Center. What a terrifying thunderstorm. A person in charge looked at the video above a certain city in China. Unknowingly, his back was soaked with sweat. What is the reason that caused a sudden nationwide large-scale thunderstorm in China? Will this happen in our country soon? He murmured, looking increasingly flustered. This kind of disaster obviously exceeds all previous derivative disasters. Large thunderstorms contain terrifying energy. If it is really caused by a monster, it will be a disaster for the surviving people. A thunder came down, can easily kill thousands of people. There is no hiding, nothing to hide. Notify everyone to prepare for a meeting and prepare for the upcoming thunderstorm disaster. He took a deep breath and ordered the assistant beside him. The United States Department of Defense. First over the Qinling Mountains, and now across the country? Jobs looked solemn, staring at the latest information submitted by the Intelligence Department. 2,400 cities in China, everything was covered by the terrifying thunder and lightning frenzy, blocking out the sky and the sun. The low Earth satellites they deployed also sent back pictures of China at this moment. On the land of 9.6 million square kilometers, white light bloomed, becoming extremely bright. The scene is extremely shocking. 2 days ago, a thunderstorm also occurred in the Qinling Mountains. His eyes flashed with wisdom, and he instantly connected the two. Last phenomenon. He asked researchers from the Scientific Research Institute to analyze it and found that they were all artificial lightning, but this time, lightning and thunder are all over the sky over 2,400 cities in China. Let researchers in related fields such as meteorology, lightning physics, and cloud stratigraphy come to my office. He pondered for a moment and gave the order. Not long after, 8 researchers came in a hurry. Look, are these thunderstorms man-made or natural? He looked at the crowd and asked in a deep voice. The 8 people looked at each other, quickly analyze and communicate on videos, photos, and high-altitude aerial images from near-Earth satellites. Half an hour later, after repeated demonstrations, one of them stood up and replied, "The information is too limited for us to make an accurate judgment, but what is certain is that it is definitely not naturally formed." Naturally formed lightning disaster. Along with many causes, there are traces to follow, but this nationwide thunderstorm in China appeared completely out of thin air without any warning. That means, it was really man-made? Jobs felt a chill in his heart. Chapter 108: The Second Stage, Reconstructing the Ecology and Reversing the Celestial Phenomenon. We can't say for sure. The 8 people looked at each other again, hesitating to speak. Actually, the latter is even more incredible than the former. It is indeed not difficult to create artificial lightning. You only need to use the appropriate natural environment to do it, but to create a nationwide thunder and lightning disaster out of thin air is like a fantasy. This kind of fairy-like power, they simply cannot imagine how it can be achieved through human means. By the way, we just compared these pictures and found that the thunder and lightning over every city in China are not chaotic. Suddenly a researcher stood up and pointed out, "These are as thick as buckets. The thunder and lightning seems to be attacking a fixed area. Look here." Hearing this, Jobs' pupils narrowed and he quickly came forward, looking at a certain photo. In 9 thunderbolts that looked like horned dragons were born out of thin air, and their impact points accurately stayed in a certain area in the sky several times. "Attack these areas," he frowned, looking hesitant and a little confused, but soon he woke up and exclaimed, "China is using thunder and lightning to attack the mysterious energy group left by 004 Rainmaker. So this thunder and lightning disaster will appear over 2,400 cities in China. It is definitely not a derivative disaster caused by heavy rain. And the territory of China has long been cleared of 004 Rainmakers, and these thunder and lightning cannot be brought by Rainmakers. The only possibility, that is, China has really found a way to destroy the mysterious energy group. China, Xia." After figuring this out, Jobs gritted his teeth. "The more I think about it, the more frightened I feel. Always, countries are studying ways to destroy energy clusters, but there is no practical technology. Those energy groups are invisible and qualityless, and conventional thermal weapons cannot cause any damage to them, and electromagnetic weapons, sonic weapons, and so on. It can indeed cause some damage to the mysterious energy group, but the technical methods of various countries are not mature. And the results are very little. The United States, they also used the second-generation electromagnetic pulse cannon to try to destroy the energy group, but in the end, the plan was abandoned. I didn't expect that China was able to think of using lightning to destroy it in a desperate situation. This way, China is already a long way ahead of them in the progress of the 4th round of trials. Minister, the laboratory has made a major breakthrough, and a 4th-level 002 imitator has been cultivated." Suddenly, the secretary hurried into the office and reported another news. What did you say?" Jobs was stunned for a moment, looking overjoyed. The shadow on his face disappeared instantly. China, Qinling Mountains, Ligungdiamu Arandi Base, Core Control Room. Yang Yimo and Sun Changqing stood side by side, staring at the huge screen in front of them. On the screen shows the magnitude of the release of high-energy particle beam pulses over 2,400 cities in China. This time, with the full recovery of Thunder God and Lightning Mother, the mountains in this area of the Qinling Mountains are trembling slightly, like an earthquake. The vast energy, emitted from the high-energy particle beam pulse device, under the precise positioning of 9 Chapter 4, all mysterious energy groups were locked, almost. Yang Yimo glanced at the screen and spoke slowly, "It's almost done." Sun Changqing nodded, looking quite excited. After the baptism of thunder and lightning, the mysterious energy group above these 2,400 cities has been exhausted and nothing left. Next, the operation of Thunder God and Lightning Mother will also enter the 2nd stage, reversing the celestial phenomenon. 9 Chapter 4, Calculate how to end the heavy rain in the country. Yang Yimo took a deep breath and gave the voice command. After a while, on the big screen, a massive flow of information data flashed, sparkling like stars in the vast universe. Monitoring data of climate-related factors from all over the country are gathered here, and complex deduction calculations are performed. 10 seconds later, on the screen, more than 30,000 steps to reverse the weather appeared. Each step is a tiny butterfly. Once changed, it will cause a nationwide climate chain reaction, although slight, but if 30,000 butterflies change at the same time, the effect will be enough to shake the entire climate ecology. Start. Yang Mo stepped forward and used his supreme authority again. The second stage of Thunder God and Lightning Mother was launched. In an instant, the earth shook again. After receiving the instruction, the high-energy particle beam pulse device quickly released pulses approaching the speed of light. Run to the designated location, southwestern China. Hengduan Mountains. A large amount of water vapor condenses here and persists for a long time, forming large clouds. With the sweep of a particle pulse, the violent particle flow instantly dispersed the cloud. A huge amount of rain flowing in all directions seems disorganized, but every cloud, water vapor, humidity, and temperature are all operating in a predetermined way. Northwestern China, Taklima Desert. It rained heavily. The originally dry desert has lost water and soil crazily, forming a vast ocean. In the sky. An invisible beam of light descended and particles scattered in all directions, permeated in the air. As a result, the temperature in the area is rising rapidly. At the same time, across China, each butterfly changes quietly. Pull one hair and move the whole body. Changes in each part cause an automatic cycle of the overall ecology. In silence, the destroyed climate ecology in China is being rebuilt under the operational deduction of Jiuzheng 4, Jiangnan City. On a certain slope, Lu Zuoming took several firefighters with him. Riding in a salt boat, we just rescued an old man who was trapped. Captain, look, the thunderstorm in the sky seems to be stopping. A team member pointed to the sky and said in surprise. Lu Zuoming was stunned for a moment. I raised my head subconsciously. Exactly. I saw the last flash of lightning disappearing in the sky. The oppressive thunderstorm stopped quietly. Come in a hurry. Go in a hurry. Just stop. Lu Zuoming breathed a sigh of relief and smiled. The thunderstorm covered the sky and the sun, which was really scary. If any bolt of lightning suddenly falls, the consequences will be disastrous. Captain, it seems that the rain has lightened up a bit. Another team member looked at the sky dreamily and suddenly exclaimed, the words just fell. Everyone trembled and raised their heads to look at the falling raindrops in the sky. This heavy rain, it lasted 17 days. The rainfall has always remained at its peak and has never decreased at all. The rain is really light. Lu Zuoming felt it for a moment and showed a look of disbelief.